maximizing your real estate income in this brand new year. And today we are going to, what is our
We're going to talk about
topic?
EXP versus Keller Williams, but really it could be about any two brokerage. But we're going to really talk about volume is vanity, profit and wealth is where we actually have our sanity. So basically, we need to stop looking just at GCI. Nobody in 26 cares about how much money you've touched. Touching money doesn't matter. What matters is how much money you keep in your hands and in your bank account. And if you are the CEO of your business, you understand this, and how we run our business now is very different than how we ran it last year, and then especially in 2005. So we're going to talk about those. We're not going to compare the logos. We're going to do how to look at our business expenses.
Exactly. Therefore, just thinking about your GCI is the total bad mindset, and we wanted to tap in that. Looking at different models, which is the Keller Williams as a franchise model versus cloud-based model, which is our brokerage EXP Realty, is specifically looking at these two giants to tell you how these models actually, with the different way, especially EXP Realty, help you to keep more money from that GCI that you were thinking about.
And we're going to look at the profit and loss statements in these categories as we're talking about, and how much they actually cost your bottom line when we're talking about how much you keep in your pocket. So basically, Alan Victoria here. We love talking about prosperity. We love talking about wealth. We are EXP. We're icon agents for the past couple of years. But really, high production doesn't mean net worth, as we were talking about. And so that's what we're really going after. So number one, we're talking about the cap. Most agents are going to tell you, what's the cap? And that's how they start. What's the cap? 80-20, 70-30, but the cap is irrelevant if you're not getting something of value from that. The cap is the price you pay for the privilege of doing business at this brokerage. It is, of course, your overhead.
Exactly. Therefore, in the franchise model, specifically our video today about the Keller Williams, that cap varies by office to office. And it typically ranges from $18,000 to over $36,000 in different part of the country in the United States, because you're paying for building, rent, and the local franchise owner's profit. And this is a total bargain. What about the EXP Realty?
An EXP, it is 100% fixed at $16,000. It doesn't matter if you sell $10 million penthouse or start a bunch of starter homes. Once you pay your $16,000, you are 100% commission. But this is not the only thing, because some people have a lot of misleading caps. They'll say, oh, it's $12,000, but then there's another cap that they're not talking about, which is another 5 or 6, which is why we put it up there as higher than what it was. So sometimes they have two different caps for having two different varieties. So I would say pay attention to the details when you're looking at things, because if your current cap,
that's why we summed it.
Right, but basically if your current cap is more than 16,000, you're going into whatever the difference is. Say it's 26 to 16, that's a $10,000 hole. But basically, why should you have to sell an extra house to make money? You should be able to keep your money. So let's talk about the next thing.
Therefore, next thing we want talking about the invisible tax. No, audit item number 2 is the invisible tax that we wanted to talk about, and this is called franchise fee. And at Keller Williams, on the top of your split that we were talking about, either 30-70 or 80-20, depends on the office, then you pay another 6% franchise fee on every transaction until you cap at $3,000, and that is the fact.
And EXP doesn't have such a reality. The fee is 0. So if you're looking at that that's why I told you have to do the math. What is the franchise fee? What is the split? Because sometimes it's not a small difference. Sometimes it's a huge difference. So if you're spending a lot of money, and let's just say it was a $15,000 difference or a $10,000 difference. If you take that, put into the stock market, and the S&P, the F500 just stock every single year after 20 years, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars just from that one simple choice of there. So when you're looking at wealth,
by just accumulating an average of 9% appreciation of your stock, that's gonna have a snowball effect.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I didn't want to go into specifics, but yes, I love talking about stocks and wealth and all of this stuff, so I did bring it up a little bit. So next one we're going to talk about
profit versus revenue. And what is that?
Basically, I want to look at assets, and this is another thing to talk about. Again, when we first started, this meant nothing to me. Like, it was 0. I just wanted to be the best real estate agent I could be. We were brand new. I wanted to go out there and make the most money. Now that I'm a couple years in, 5 years into the system of being a real estate agent, I understand a little bit, and I'm glad I made the choice that I did. So EXP versus Keller Williams, and I only understood this on paper. It wasn't relevant to my life, so we'll just do this a little quicker. Keller Williams is a profit share. What is profit? It means after you've paid all of the business expenses, you look at how much the office made as profit, and then it gets split this way. Where to EXP, it is revenue. What is revenue?
Basically, the revenue, what revenue we're talking
revenue
about?
Is basically money before you've paid any bills.
Okay.
So revenue is a fact. Profit share is after expenses. Revenue is there. So if the rent goes up, the profits go down. If the market shifts, profit disappears. But revenue is just when you get your tax. When they do the split, they have they take their 20% and it goes into the rev share, and then that's it.
Basically, math-wise, because I'm the math guy, the 50% of that 20% that you pay to the EXP goes to the revenue share, and it goes to the pool of the company dollar that used it to give to the real estate agent. Therefore, pretty much 10% of income of the EXP Realty used for that revenue share.
And I'm going to strictly throw out there, because if you're like me, I'm a production person. I need to care about my production. When I understood that if once I hit the cap and I sell 20 more houses, and there's two different methods, but the 20 houses works in my market. I have 20 houses, then I become an icon agent. And the point of being an icon agent is that I get all of my $16,000 back in stock, which means I can then buy other stocks out there as well, which means my S&P is going to grow that way. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because that mattered to me far more than rev share itself when we were first starting. Because I understood I could get my money back, and I love getting my money back, which means then my cap is free.
And then when you get to the 3065 by having these stocks, then in average 9% appreciation, you get to the point that easily you can get retired.
Exactly. So I just want to throw my own thoughts in there. And the last one, of course, I want to go back to is
take trap.
Yeah.
No, you're likely paying monthly desk fee or take fee right now. At Keller Williams, those can range between $75 to over $100 just monthly, plus extra certain tools that you need to get it, because they all have subscription at Keller Williams, and you often locked into
their command system.
Exactly. Therefore, EXP actually, it makes it super simple. You're pretty much paying a flat $85 a month, but here's the value hack. This $85 includes your CRM, which could be three choices right now. We have KV Core Bold Trail / Bold Trail. We have Cozy and Lofty, and Close. I'm sorry. And we didn't have these choices till 2020-25. And if you went to buy KV Core on your own or Bold Trail right now, it costs you hundreds of dollars a month to do this. And once one agent that we track saved a $10,000 a year just by canceling their personal CRM subscription and using tools that actually EXP Realty provide. That is immediate cash flow into your business, guys.
Now, basically, the market shifted. When we first started, the houses were flying off by the dozen. Like, it was just impossible. 50 offers in a day. Now, that's not what it is now at all. People tell you that the market is slow, but I can tell you that's just not true for me. And it's not true for anybody who stays positive and understands what they are doing. If you're a high producer, the market shift doesn't mean that your wealth is going to go down. It means that we are just looking in our cars and figuring out new ways, or growing what we already have, which is even better. So we want to make sure that we are looking at the market and seeing how you produce and how you are the best producer out there. So you work too hard for your money. You've made all those late night calls. You've dealt with we know that some buyers are a lot of psychological ups and down, and you've given up nights, you've given up weekends, you gave up movie nights. You've dealt with a lot of stress. So you deserve to keep your money.
Exactly. Therefore, click in the link in the description below and send us your last 12 months of production, your GCI.
We have a link in the description for our calculators on how to do this now, which I'm very excited about that they're just created. So make sure you do click on that link, because you will find our calculator.
Therefore, that calculator, by putting all of your number, including your GCI and your transaction count, it helps you that finally tell you exactly how much money you would have kept in your bank account now if you were partner with us, part of the EXP Realty.
And especially talk to us about stock.
And if this number doesn't scare you, stay where you are. But if the number is big enough for you to change your life, we need to talk.
We can't wait to talk to you about prosperity, stocks, being an icon, maximizing our income production, and stop paying for loyalty to some place that's not giving you the best that you can be.
Exactly. And see you next time. And please subscribe in our channel and book an appointment with us in the link below with Alan Victoria Piner with EXP Realty. And we are glad to connect with you and have a lovely day.